Nazio 3080 Qualitazio Lawrence as you wish Chicago. It's semi-regular
Sundays.
Donas Yowie Bielski program. Say Bronco Bradwicz, Amy Plakowitz Young, Stephanie Parker, and Greg Bartusiak. I teraz wysokie mięsienia i nowe mięsienia. For shoppingers.
Woohoo! Huh. That was impressive, Stuart. I am impressed with your ability to speak Polish. I didn't know you knew any. And
I don't.
There you go. So I do wonder if there are Polish people watching, if they can critique Stuart's pronunciation. I don't mean to.
Yeah, I'm going to get eviscerated.
Yeah, I know. That is like one of those things. It's like, if you can try to speak another language, but like, I don't know. I believe like your vocal cords, you have to actually like develop some of the sounds at a young age, or else you just can't do it. Anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I could teach you a little bit of Polish right now.
Oh, what's that?
Okay. Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję.
Tupayash.
Tupayash.
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję.
Tupayash.
Tupayash. So what am I saying?
Thanks, asshole. All right, good evening, everyone. We are Fall Shop Bangers. For those of you who do not know Dan and I, we are an improv duo based out of Chicago. We have been performing together for almost 8 years, and we have been hosting remote shows every Sunday and Wednesday for almost a year now. In fact, 1 year ago tomorrow will mark the last time we performed together in person.
Wow.
Yes, March 8th, 2020 was the last time we were at Shakers. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in right now. We are celebrating Pulaski Day 6 days late. We hope you enjoy this very Polish-flavored comedy show this evening. Now, before I introduce all of our acts, Dan, if you could say a few words about some of the small businesses we're supporting, as well as some ongoing fundraisers.
Sure. So I thought I'd point your direction down below to our little banner at the bottom, and I thought I would. And like Stuart said, we're trying to promote some fundraisers and some businesses that might be struggling during this time. First, there is a GoFundMe organized by the comedian Chris Redd. Chris Redd is trying to raise money for people who have been affected by COVID-19 who are at Black Lives Matter protests. You can find a link to that GoFundMe in the description of this event. Second, there is the bar that Stuart and I usually host this show at, and that is Shakers on Clark. Shakers on Clark is trying to collect tips for their bar staff so that they can pay their bar staff when they're not open. You can find a link to that GoFundMe in the description of this event. And also, if you happen to be at home and you are drinking a beverage, maybe alcoholic or an alcoholic beverage that you would have gotten at a bar, maybe you can give the money that you would have given to the bar to Shakers. Third, there is a really great gym called Bodi Shak. Bodi Shak, they offer really great fitness classes. It's Black owned, and it really serves the uptown community very well. It's also local, not part of really any chain. And, it's a place where you can go and, get fit and also support a local business. I have a link to their GoFundMe because they are kind of open in a limited capacity, but I also have a link to their website where you can sign up for classes. Third, there is the coffee shop, First Sip Cafe. First Sip Cafe is right off the Red Line on the Argyle stop. They have really great coffee and tea drinks. I go there pretty frequently. And I have a link in the description to get gift cards there. Last and certainly not least, there is where Stuart and I do comedy ourselves, and that is the Comedy Clubhouse. The Comedy Clubhouse is currently offering some classes. They're not doing classes yet, but they kind of have their classes. They've rethought their program. They have a track in improv, they have a track in stand-up, and they have a track in theatricals. You can do one, 2, or all 3 if you want to. If you are, a fan of comedy, a student of comedy, it's open to all people of all experience levels, whoever's just there and is interested in this. Yeah, so other than that, I just thought I would say that usually in between acts, Stuart and I try to make sure that, the comics know that people are watching, if you're watching over YouTube or Facebook. So if you comment on the YouTube stream, we'll be able to, give you a shout out, or if you like or comment on the Facebook stream, we will also be able to see that, and I'll be sure to give you a shout out during the break. Back to you, Stuart.
All right, thank you so much. Also, in case you had noticed, I'm going full Polish tourist tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both the hat and the cap are for my sister. She went to the Katowice region about 3 years ago. She was the +1 for one of her best friend's family weddings. And her friend is Polish as all hell, and I mean that in the best way possible. As it happens, Dan and I are both Polish on our mom's side.
Yes.
So this is the rare theme show where this basically applies to everyone who is performing in the show tonight. With that said, we do have an interesting mix of people that are full Polish, half Polish, quarter Polish, what have you this evening. Closing out the night, of course, is an improv set by Flower Shop Bangers.
Woo!
Right before the bangs, we have comic. I'm going to butcher this. Amy Plokowitz Young.
Woo!
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. Yay. Right before Amy, we have Stephanie Parker out of Philly.
Woohoo!
Right before Stephanie, we have Bronco Bradwicz,
Woo!
the Polish sage. And leading us off is someone right here in Chicago. He happens to be a on-air personality on WPNA 103.1 Chicago, FM Chicago, which incidentally is Polish radio. Please welcome to our show, Greg Bartusiak.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
This is a fun time. I haven't done Zoom comedy in like ever. I've been one of those guys that was doing comedy outdoors, but now, you know, well, the weather's not so great, so I guess we're doing it here. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun chance to tell some jokes, laugh about being Polish. Stuart, I really appreciate your Polish in the beginning of the show. You know, got to give you props on that. I am 100% Polish. Greg Bartusiak is how you say it in English. Grzegorz Bartusiak in Polish. Lots more syllables and RZs and things like that. If you don't know me, you might probably recognize me from like what Stuart said. I am an on-air host at 103.1 FM here in Chicago. Yeah, if it's not from there, maybe Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, I get that sometimes, you know. One time a lady asked me, she said, told me, you know what your voice sounds like? You sound like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. I said, lady, that's not really like a compliment, right? Can't just walk up to you and be like, you know what your voice sounds like? You sound like you could fit in a size 16. Can you help me move this couch? No, Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, that's a great thing to quote right now, 2021. But yeah, being Polish, I don't know. Like someone told me recently, I realized I don't have white privilege. I have Polish shame. Because, you know, you are a little bit more timid and a little bit more like scared to just speak up as a Polish person. Like we were at a bar recently and it was closing time and I was like hanging out outside having a cigarette with some comics and I'm like, oh, let's close. It's close to closing time. I got to go close my tab out. And yeah, no, they said, okay, well, check your white privilege. I'm like, I can't. It's the shame. It's the making sure everything's okay, making sure everyone's happy and making sure everyone's satisfied. That's what Polish people do, you know? With Zoom, like now you can't tell, but I'm sitting, but I am a pretty tall guy, 6'6". And, you know, the NBA All-Star game is actually going on now. I believe it or not, I was actually a prospect in the NBA draft. You know, I was a prospect to get into the NBA, but I was cut from the draft because of performance enhancing drugs. So I went home and told my girlfriend, maybe using Viagra was a bad idea. The joke there is I have a girlfriend. But yeah, I mean, being on air is fun. You know, I get to talk about whatever I want and things that are happening in my life. And earlier during this pandemic, it was a stressful year. But one very exciting thing that happened was my sister had her first kid. You know, she gave birth to her first kid. So I'm officially an uncle. So I was very happy about that. Decided to mention it on my show. I said, hey, my sister just gave birth. I'm finally going to be an uncle. But I don't want the kid to call me Uncle Greg. I want him to call me something like more fun. Like call me Funkle Greg, right? Some little pun right there. I actually had a listener that texted in afterwards. She said, hey, Greg, congratulations. All the best. I'm actually a funty myself. I thought good thing she didn't call herself a funt. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough year overall. You know, Anyone get the COVID test recently? You get tested recently? Yeah. You got the rod up your nose, right? Very unpleasant, but it's not like we haven't had worse things up our noses. Just saying. This was funny though, because a lot of celebrities came out that they had COVID, and I'm sure you probably heard about this. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson actually had COVID. He and his whole family contracted it, but they are safe. They were healthy. They're recovered now, so that's good. But it was actually interesting how they found out about having it, because the whole family was hanging around in the kitchen one day and they couldn't smell what The Rock was cooking. Yeah, that's interesting. More like, okay, so I'm focusing on the NBA All-Star game because like I have it in the background over here or whatever. That's just me. But you know, lots of new things were coming out this past year because of Kobe Bryant passing away, right? So this was also the first year. This past year was the first year of eligibility for him to get into Hall of Fame. Him, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett were all eligible this year. And it was a similar process of how they chose who got to get into the Hall of Fame. You know, they got all the writers into a room and they wrote the names of who they want to be Hall of Famers on a sheet of paper. Normally, they would take that sheet of paper, put it into a box to count later as ballots. But this year, they crumpled that sheet of paper up, threw it in, and yelled, "Kobe!" A little different. Anyone dating in quarantine out there? Yeah.
Woo.
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, Zoom dating or in-person dating. It's still a little bit like weird for me. I obviously dating during a pandemic is kind of sketchy, but I really don't want to date, not because of the pandemic, but because of the way my last relationship ended. So it ended with my ex actually throwing all of my things, electronics, furniture. She threw everything out of her window. So I was skeptical to start a new relationship because my ex actually lived on the 3rd floor. And then I started dating a girl that lived on the 27th floor. So I had to be careful about her, you know? Is that why people are always looking for someone down to earth? You know? I'm just looking for someone well-grounded. That's all I'm looking for. I was also driving with that girl when I was dating her. We were driving, you know how, Chicago roads, for those of you who aren't from Chicago, some of these Chicago roads are named after people like governors, mayors, things like that. You got the Eisenhower, you got the Bishop Ford, you got the Dan Ryan, things like that. One time we were driving down the Jane Byrne interchange. She actually turns to me and asks, "Who's Jane Byrne?" And I told her, "I swear to fucking God, I don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is, okay? Just saying." There was a show that I really wanted to watch because this was being produced pre-quarantine last year. I really hope that they bring it back. So the producers of The Bachelor were sending out a casting call for new contestants for a new dating show. But the contestants they were looking for were ages 65 and up. So senior dating, I'm not sure if I would watch that though, you know. Maybe because you got two people hanging out on a beach, sunsets, nice romantic area, holding hands, talking about how much their grandchildren don't call them anymore. Two people having a nice steak dinner. There's a candle in the middle of the table, a bottle of champagne, a steak, and also their pill case to tell them what medication to take that day. Two people having a nice hot jacuzzi in their walk-in jacuzzi. I definitely want to watch that. I definitely do. Yeah. It's a lot of interesting things that, you know, we've been obviously watching in quarantine. Obviously, Tiger King was one of the huge things that we love to watch. You know, I loved watching it, not just for like the actual show, but like seeing other people's reactions about it, like, you know, social media, just seeing what people have to say about it. I don't really like, you know, a lot of celebrities actually spoke out about it too. You got like Cardi B, Kim Kardashian that were actually like for the release of Joe Exotic, saying that he didn't do anything wrong. That's not who really I wanted to hear from. I wanted to hear from one other celebrity, O.J. Simpson, right? So OJ, he didn't have anything to say about Joe Exotic or anything. He actually wanted to talk about Carol Baskin, saying Carol Baskin definitely murdered her husband. And if there's one person that knows anything about murdering spouses, allegedly, it's got to be OJ Simpson. You know, I just want to see OJ run like an investigative TV show of like spouses who allegedly murdered their loved ones. The name of the show would be If They Did It, This Is How They Would Have Done It. All right. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad I'm sorry I didn't have more Polish jokes, but I'm glad that I'll be here representing Poland and, showing off the Polish culture. This is a shirt from WPNA. Pretty cool. So that's all. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Dan. Give it to you guys.
Woo! Greg Bartusiak, everyone. Thank you so much, Greg. So, Greg, you said you're 6'6"?
Yeah.
This would now make you only the second person we've ever had in our show that was taller than Dan.
That's true. I am 5'5". I don't meet
You're
a lot
6'5".
of people. I am, yeah.
Oh man. Well, we'll have to go like measure each other like back to back next time we see each other in person.
Sure. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. It just the illusion of Zoom that makes it look like Dan and I are the same height.
I don't know. I had that discussion actually today, where we kind of discussed that I tend to be mostly torso. I have long legs, or no, I have long legs. I'm not
short legs,
torso,
big torso.
I got that backwards.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it, Dan. I'm not going to comment. But at the same time, I am a comparatively scant 5'8.5". So a couple pieces of business before we move on to Bronco Bradwicz. How's the Facebook Live feed looking, Dan?
It looks great. I thought I would give some shout outs to some people that I see watching, and that includes John McDonnell, Victoria Day, Mark Romanowski, who's probably watching at home with his wife Jordan. I see Jacob Klimzasko. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I'm actually kind of curious why he put a peanut emoji in the comments. But he did. There's a peanut emoji there. I don't know what that means. I see clap emojis, I see heart emojis, and then I see him putting in the peanut emoji. Yeah. All right. There's also Mitch Kessler. Mitch is our friend at One Group Mind and a teammate of Stuart and myself. Really always excited to see Mitch there. And then there's my girlfriend, Sally LaRue.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. When Dan and I moved our show to Shakers on Clark in July 2018, we began a two-man campaign to save Chicago Barprov. So for the unfamiliar, Barprov is a portmanteau for bar improv, but it's not necessarily exclusive to improv. We like to think that it's a very inclusive, free comedy variety inside a bar. Dan and I first cut our teeth in a barprov show at the Underground Lounge. And in the early mid-2010s, there were barprov shows pretty much all over the north side of the city. We did shows at Mullins and AJ Hudson's and Crocodile Lounge and the Horseshoe and the Publican and Jerry Sandwiches. And one by one, these shows started getting canceled, or the bars started going out of business. And I guess maybe because of that, people started moving in a different direction. I guess there was maybe just an excess of those shows. So when we moved to Shakers, not quite 3 years ago, the very concept of Chicago Barprov and free comedy in a bar had its back against the wall. And we kind of took it upon us to kind of be that tent pole for free comedy in bars. That is not, well, I mean, there are plenty of stand-up shows, open mics, stuff like that. But, as far as like comedy variety, I mean, that's kind of where it falls on us. And in order to maintain this newfound tradition of Chicago Barprov, we set up this improv tip jar. I designed it myself. Yes, there is cash inside the tip jar. This took all day to make, if you can believe it. Duct tape and a silo cup. And it's not only a way of allowing the audience to interact with the performers, but it's a way of giving back to our performers. And at the moment, we happen to have $30 inside the tip jar, which means split 6 ways. All of our performers tonight are going home with at least $5. We did not tell any of our performers that this was a paying gig. So if you would like to donate to the show, if you would like to throw money into this tip jar, feel free to Venmo me or Dan. My Venmo is right above here, as well as Dan's. It's not a competition. We're going to split everything 6 ways. So if you're enjoying the show, please maybe throw a little something to our performers. Without further ado, it is a pleasure to have in our show a very mysterious gentleman. He answers to the Polish cowboy. Please welcome Bronco Bradwicz.
Whoa, whoa. Well, thank you, Stuart. Thank you so much. And Dan, you sure are nice boys. And sure am glad to have you folks doing the host for tonight's show. Hey, boys and girls, it's your old pal Bronco Bradwicz with our tonight's special Polish cowboy show. Are you ready to go?
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It's Naughty Fine. Okay. Well, boys and girls, let's get going. Hey, Naughty Fine, why don't you head off there in the stall and we'll get started with the show. Well, boys and girls, if you're ready, then grab up your Bronco Brad wooden clackers and let's sing our Galloping Along song. Well, galloping along, I sing this cowboy song. Snacking on non-gluten crackers, play my tune on wooden clackers, galloping along. Cow dust all up my nose. Let's jump off this path and in a bath and let's wash our smelly clothes. All right. Well, let me just cool down my clackers there. Well, now it's time to start the Bronco Bradwicz show, but next thing I got to do, of course, got to have my little buddy show up. Yes, indeed. A lot of people love him. I love him too. Yes, indeed. It's my little buddy, Wally, the happy talking neutrino. Hiya, Wally. Hi, Bronco Brad. Hi, everybody. Hey, Wally. Say, what's our science conversation for today? Well, Bronco Brad, you asked me about black holes. Well, I sure did. What are black holes there, Wally? Black holes are like giant stuffed cabbage. They're full of meat and tomatoes and spices and onions and garlic, and it sucks it all in and nothing can get out. Well, that's a dang darn good description there, Wally. Say, Wally, I really do believe in science, and I'm glad you're on the show. I am too, Bronco Brad. But you know, boys and girls, there's some people out there that just don't believe in science. Can you believe that? Oh, it's a shame. I'd like to sing about that, Bronco Brad. Well, go right ahead there, little buddy. Okay. I believe in science like gravity and things. I know bathtubs and planets both have a lot of rings. Science is fun to know, like what's inside your gut. Those who don't believe in science need a swift kick in the butt. Well, that's a darn good song, Wally. I sure do appreciate that. Hey, say goodnight. Okay, good night, everybody. Yeah, that Wally, he sure is a nice boy. Well, boys and girls, now it's time for some sing-along, okay? Alrighty. Well, in this case here, we got a little song here about some special kind of vegetable. You know, there's a lot of cabbage that I love to eat. And you know, in the land of Poland, people don't necessarily just go out and pick the cabbage. No, those cabbage run away like the doggies. So we got to roll round them up. And that's what this song about, is about rolling up those cabbage. So grab your Bronco Brad wooden clackers, you can clack along. Well, rolling, 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 no time to go bowling, rolling them cabbage across the range. Oh, put on your chaps and hats, our cabbage is green and fat, rolling capusta along. Don't give me no baby pouting, cause there'll soon be sauerkraut while we're rolling them capusta along. As we're looking across the prairie, seeing men and women hairy, rolling capusta along. I dream of home in the hills with golumkies and Polish stills, rolling capusta along. Oh, rolling, 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 no time to go bowling. We're rolling them cabbage across the range. Well, wasn't that fun, boys and girls? Yes. We just pulled down my Bronco Bradwicz wooden clackers. You could put yours away too. Say, boys and girls, before we go any further, I want to make sure I let you know about our sponsor for tonight. Hey, moms and dads, if your kids don't like eating vegetables, maybe it's time to stop at the grocery store and pick up a big old box of Ted's candied broccoli and spinach. It sure is good. Mom and Dad, your kids are going to love them, I guarantee it. You can find it in 3 different flavors, papaya, chocolate, and cinnamon. I guarantee it'll be the best dang darn vegetables your kids will want to eat. Look for it in their supermarket grocery shelf. Ted's candied broccoli and spinach. It sure is good. Well, now that our sponsors all taken care of, it's time now for another special song about a little friend of mine. You know, boys and girls, I've got a little friend. He lives in a big old pickle jar inside the bar. Then his friend is Davy. Yes, that Davy is a pickled egg. And I love Davy, that pickled egg. I love to sing about him for you too. Here we go. Well, I'm friends with mashed potatoes with lots of chicken gravy, but the bestest friend that I ever had was a pickled egg named Davy. Oh, Davy the pickled egg was a friend of mine. He liked to sit on top the bar and swim in pickle brine. Oh, Davy gave me comic books and piles of wet dirt. He'd like to kiss my boo-boos whenever I got hurt. Davy the pickled egg was a friend of mine. He liked to sit on top the bar and swim in pickle brine. Davy taught me Swedish when I was 3 or 4. Whenever I was bad, he'd throw me out the door. Davy the pickled egg was a friend of mine. He liked to sit on top the bar and swim in pickle brine. Yeah, that's my song about my friend Davy. Yes, indeed. Well, now I'm going to put him away here. Hey, boys and girls, remember our contest for today is coming up. So if you want to write in and tell me if you can guess what it is, you'll get a big old prize. Yes, our contest tonight is Guess the Frozen Pierogi. Yes, indeed. I just pulled it out of my freezer, and I'll be dang darned if I know what it is, too. But if you can guess right into the Bronco Brad show and get yourself a prize. Okay, well, now, it's time for another song, huh? This song here is about my friend called Tommy. You know my friend Tommy? He comes from the land of Poland. He's a little old satellite. And I love to sing about Tommy. So I'm going to grab my wooden clackers one more time and I sing about little Tommy, the Polish satellite. Well, there's a friend of ours flying high overhead. Tippy-yi-yi-yi, kielbasa. Tommy, the satellite from the land of Poland. Tippy-yi-yi-yi, kapusta. Each night we rest under bright prairie skies. Sleep tight, you little doggies. Tommy is winking and blinking on high. Tippy-yi-yi-yi, pierogies. Oh, he flies through the sky every night. Tommy, the sweet Polish satellite. He tells a message as bright as can be. Hello, little Kishkas, it's me. Yes, that's the story of Tommy, the Polish satellite. Yes, indeed. Well, now, boys and girls, it's time for our art corner. Now, if Mr. Cameraman can swing over here. Remember, boys and girls, last week, I promised I'd show you how to draw a flying kielbasa. Well, now you remember we got to draw a big old kielbasa here with the big old string on both sides. And next, grab your pen or crayon and you draw a big old rotor on top like that. See that, boys and girls? Then you got to draw some big old propellers. So just draw some big old propellers there. Yes, indeed, and have them flying around. And then it's a flying kielbasa. So make sure you draw yourself a big old cockpit and then draw yourself inside. Here's Bronco Brad flying his big old flying kielbasa. Yes, indeed. Now remember, boys and girls, when you're done flying your kielbasa, you got to land it somewhere. So make sure you draw some wheels. Yes, indeed, there you are. Your flying kielbasa can land safely. Don't that look good? I don't know if I should drive it or eat it. Yeah, hang that up on your refrigerator. Let mom and dad know you drew it. Okay, come on, Mr. Cameraman, swing it back around. Thank you very much. Whoa, what's happening, Mr. Cameraman? Whoa, the camera's shaking. Whoa, it's like an earthquake here. Well, know what the heck is dang darn going on? We're having some technical difficulties. Hang on there, boys and girls. Whoa, okay. Woo. Well, now just about time to wrap up. So I got one more song here before we go. You know, there's a strange hombre out in the hills there somewhere, and I'd like to sing about him. Yes, it's called the One-Eyed Kishka Cowboy. Listen up. A long, long time ago, living out on the plains, rode a mean sausage cowboy, full of meat byproducts and grains. His one good steely eye could kill you with a glance. He'd fire his 6-gun at your feet and make you polka dance. The one-eyed Kishka cowboy could shoot your sides out. He'd plug you and he'd plant you and cover you up with sauerkraut. His outer casings were tight in case, crunchy. His heart was cold and mean. Why, he'd slather his own mother with mustard once she'd been fully steamed. The one-eyed Kishka cowboy could shoot your insides out. He'd plug you and he'd plant you and cover you up with sauerkraut. Well, that's it for tonight, boys and girls. Stick around because we got a lot of nice people here at the show tonight. I'm sure glad to spend time with you. Until next time, boys and girls. Well, we've hung up our saddles and laid down our tools. The night stars are out burning their nuclear fuels. It's time to change the cat box and go wash our hair. So good night, you cowpokes out there. Good night, cowpokes.
Bronco Bradwicz, everyone. Thank you so much, Bronco. So where do you head next?
Oh, let's see. I gotta head out to somewhere out where they're making nice juicy kielbasa and pierogies. Yes, indeed. A big old steaming plate of kilpusta and maybe some nice powdered cookies at the end.
Oh, God, that sounds delicious. Thank you so much, Bronco. Also, we all took guesses on the mystery pierogi. I'm not sure if you saw it in the chat.
Oh, I sure did, but I didn't want to slow down the show. I'll check it out after.
All right. Keep us posted. Hey, Dan, any updates?
Yes, I thought I would give a shout out to someone it's a new person I see watching, and that is Quirky Gardner. And I also thought I'd say there were a couple guesses in the Facebook comments for the flavor of that pierogi. One was prune, and you guessed pork, Stuart. Those were the two guesses we've heard so far. Anyway, yeah, that's just all I got. Back to you, Stuart.
All right, thank you so much. Also, if you want more information about Dan and myself, you can go to flowershopbangers.com. It'll give you a link to our Facebook page, which you can like and follow, as well as our YouTube channel. You know, if you're not inclined to be on Facebook that much, you can watch us on YouTube every Sunday and Wednesday at 7 Central. Also, if you have missed any part of the show so far, no worries. This whole show will be saved and archived on the Flower Shop Bangers Facebook page right after the show ends, which will be somewhere around 8:15 Chicago time. Without further ado, our next comic is originally from Philadelphia, and much like Dan and myself, is definitely Polish, but has a very Anglo-Saxon sounding name. It is a treat to have on our show, Stephanie Parker.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I like hanging out with my half Polish brethren. It's exciting. It's very exciting. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to talk so much about the Polish stuff, but I feel like it's really sort of infused in this adult I've become. All that Polish Catholic school at St. Adalbert's and St. Joseph's, and had my share of pierogies, and the unknown ones really scared me. That was also a very big tradition on Christmas Eve, but I need to know what they are. I'm not comfortable just playing, just this game of pierogi roulette or whatever. But yeah, no, thanks for having me. So this pandemic, it's taught me a lot about myself. I found out that I'm heavily invested in game shows. I find myself oohing and awing at the prizes. Look at that washer and dryer. Oh, 2 jet skis? Wow. And then if the contestants win them or not, oh, Gladys, that jacuzzi is going to look fabulous in Portsmouth. Well, at least you got to see LA, Todd. And then I find myself cringing at my own true nature. I'm a fangirl of capitalism. As Stuart said, I'm from Philadelphia, the birthplace of America. This is where Benjamin Franklin got his syphilis. It's a special town where we regularly punch police horses. And this is the town in September where Trump said bad things happen. And that's interesting because the English translation of the Greek, Philos Adelphos, is fuck around and find out. I don't know how you say that in Polish, but it would really only be relevant for like 2 neighborhoods here. So we have the Liberty Bell. We have Fairmount Park, which is the largest urban park system in the country. And also I cannot forget the hallowed ground that is Four Seasons Total Landscaping.
Yeah.
And in November, we saved Western democracy. You're welcome. I've been thinking, last year, the US saw a sharp decline in school shootings, and also the NRA is going bankrupt. Correlation, causation. I mean, they do say that teenagers have the most disposable income. In an effort not to succumb to cabin fever, I've explored some new interests over lockdown. I've taken classes in clowning. I found something out about myself. I was always meant to be a Zoom clown. I'm in the class of clown. It's known as a low-level dum-dum. And my official clown name is Stephanie the Suicidal Sea Bug. It's best explained as a knife-wielding maniacal lobster. It's a very lovable and identifiable character. This quarantine has definitely been a time of true self-reflection, but now I'm doing it in my funhouse mirror. I've been studying improv, which I never ever saw happening to me. And I've joined both Toastmasters and QAnon. Believe it or not, Donald Trump and I do have something in common, besides the clowning. We went to the same university. Go figure. I've met a lot of mostly great people via Zoom comedy. I've been thinking that maybe myself and everyone that I've had fun times with over the past year, like maybe we should get matching tattoos to commemorate our lockdown together. It's like jail tats, but different. Something about friendships forged in the quarantine. I'm imagining it being a very industrial looking graphic. Back when we were allowed to go outside safely, I was called for jury duty. I never have, and I very much want to be on a jury. I know, it's crazy, I know. I was so close until they asked what I did. And just a pro tip, apparently comedian doesn't make the cut for potential jurors. Could this pandemic nightmare be ending? I sure hope so, because I'm ready for the next one. And honestly, I'm glad that something came along to totally crush my dreams. Because it's been pretty quiet since my mother died. it's currently not unusual for me to go out maybe once every 2 months. And I tend to do a lot of observational humor. So let me tell you about all the wash cycles on my new dishwasher. No? Okay. I'm not gonna lie, this past year was hard. Being apart from all of my loved ones over the holidays, I'm gonna lament all the time that we missed together, especially with the twin that I ate in utero. I'm scheduled for my jab on March 15th. This is going to be the best Ides of March ever. Now I just need to work on my grandmom costume. Seriously though, I'm quite relieved because I thought I'd be waiting till like June or July to get vaccinated. And you know, the federal response has just been tremendously subpar. If anybody questions that, like maybe you can reference like the 500K dead kind of needlessly. I don't know. But it's also been confusing here in the city. You know, who can get a shot, when, where. I mean, it's all very just unknown. There's nobody telling us anything. But then I heard last week that this local church is like, come on in, we'll vaccinate anyone, no questions asked. So if you want, I can give you the details. And that's all I've got for today. Thank you guys for having me. Happy Pulaski Day. I've been Stephanie Parker. Woo.
Stephanie Parker, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Steph. All right. Also, to answer Stephanie's question in her set, I went into Google Translate.
Pieprzyć się I dowiedzieć się.
Dziękuję, Tupayash. All right, Dan, any updates?
Yes. So I thought I'd give a shout out to someone else that I see watching. That is Michelle Billich. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for watching.
All right. Thank you so much to everyone who is tuning in right now. Also, just want to remind everyone that we still have the improv tip jar. All of our performers tonight are going home with at least $5. So if you would like to donate to the tip jar, go ahead and send money to either my Venmo or Dan's Venmo. I believe it's above me on the screen, correct?
I can put it there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now it is.
All right, excellent. So if you want to donate to the tip jar, yeah, just go right ahead, either Venmo me or Dan. And we absolutely do hope you are enjoying the show. Also, speaking of comedy, obviously, Flower Shop Bangers is a project for Dan and myself, but if you're looking at that giant poster that I have on my wall right here, I also happen to run a comedy page of my own called Stu News. I've been running Stu News for about 7.5 years now. I post tactical jokes 6, maybe 7 times a week. Late night style monologue jokes. Please feel free to like and follow if you're looking for some quick takes on what's going on in the news. That's facebook.com/StuNews, or you can follow me on Twitter at HeyStu818. Without further ado, our final comic of the night is based out of Los Angeles. And well, this is where I have to kind of atone for a mistake, because we had originally booked her in early December. And then for some reason, after I had messaged her, I forgot to put her on the Google Doc for all the acts that we booked. So I had to apologize profusely. She absolutely understood. We were able to book her again. We are very grateful to have in our show, Amy Plukowitz-Young.
Thank you, Stuart. That's okay. December was, actually, I don't remember December. I don't remember yesterday. So that's what the pandemic is like for me. I'm only half Polish. I'm half Polish and half Italian, which means that I'm a mentally ill alcoholic. Fantastic. I've done approximately 97,000 Zoom shows. I love it. I don't have to leave my house. I've done a couple of outdoor comedy shows that were supposedly like COVID safe. And what I learned is that comedians are not great with elementary school math, because everybody was like, look, we're 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Not even close. I'm wearing their masks like under their nose. I was like, I gotta go home. I've been with my husband for about 17 years, which is a long time. And it's long enough that he thinks it's appropriate to get me Star Wars pillowcases for Valentine's Day.
What?
But not long enough for him to realize that I'm not going to display those on my bed because I'm not a 5-year-old. I heard somebody's Alexa going off in the background. Like, who was that? Anybody? Greg? It's Stuart. Okay.
I was not expecting that. I didn't even say it.
I don't know about you. I don't know if anybody else does this. I don't know if it's because I'm from the Midwest or I'm crazy. But do any of you guys? I don't want her to hear me. Thank Alexa when you ask her questions, like just in case when the AI inevitably rises up to murder all of us, that like maybe she'll spare you.
Mhm.
You know, like kill him, kill. No, you know what? She was polite. My husband does the opposite. My husband purposely antagonizes her. He'll ask her a question and she'll give him like some sort of information afterwards. Like, by the way, it's supposed to be 75 degrees outside. He goes, God, Alexa, I didn't ask. Stomps out of the room. And I come like crawling up from the couch like, Alexa, I don't know him. She's like, you guys share a Prime account. I'm like, yes, but I don't agree with how he's treating you. I'm gonna throw him in the pool. The lottery recently was up to like $1 billion. I love it when this happens, the Mega Millions. But I realized that my husband and I have very different views on life when that happened. Because he was like, if I won that money, I would just like give half of it away. I was like, yes, you would give half of it away in the divorce settlement. Okay? You can do whatever you want with the other half. I'm gonna buy a plane and a boat in Malibu. Like, no. He's a very handy guy. Our water is off right now because we're having a plumbing emergency, which I don't know if anyone has ever experienced that, but it's fantastic. I'm washing my hands with pool water. It's great. And I love having someone handy in the house because I don't know how to do anything. But it also means that I'm not allowed to call anyone to help me with anything. So I have a hole in my bedroom ceiling that has been there for 4 years. Like, I'm not joking. There's supposed to be a ceiling fan, and I'm not allowed to bring it up either. It's always like, I'm getting to it. It's on my list. I'm like, yeah, but if I call someone, it can be there tomorrow. It's not helping. I spent this morning trying to find the perfect Excel spreadsheet for a check register. So adulthood is exactly like I imagined it would be when I was 4. I'm just waiting to turn into a mermaid one day. That's the only thing that's kind of missing right now. I'm a Gen X on the outside, but on the inside, I'm a boomer, I think. I was recently diagnosed with a hiatal hernia, which you may have heard your grandma complain about at some point. And what it means is that my stomach is trying to escape through my esophagus, which just confirms that like even my essential organs are tired of hanging out with me during quarantine. And it doesn't translate into like real life because I am 278 millionth in line for the vaccine. That's what I found out on NPR. So I'll get that in 2025. I did win Wheel of Fortune as well. So I've got almost all my grandma bingo like checked off. I'm getting there. I think I just need to like start wearing a plastic hair cover and I'll be good to go. I do get confused for millennials sometimes, which, you know, it's like nice to be thought that you're younger, but I remember when Mark Wahlberg was a rapper. Okay, I lived through that. So I need some credit for that. If you guys don't remember that, then you're better off than I am. I also threw my back out yesterday, emptying a pot of water. So that was fun. I also know that I'm getting old because I've noticed how expensive spices are. Oh my God. the spices in my house, like my spice rack is worth more than all the jewelry in my house. Like I was gonna pay my mortgage and then I was like, oh, but I need chili powder and oregano. So she's gonna have to wait. It's also like, you can't do things when you get older that you used to be able to do. Like my nephew, who is 10, was like, oh, Auntie Amy, let's do a cartwheel. And he does a cartwheel. And I was like, I can do a cartwheel. So I executed one perfectly. And by that, I mean, I pulled every muscle in my body. Have you tried to do a cartwheel as an adult? You can't, it's not possible unless you're like doing them all the time, which I mean, I'm not. I finally got a haircut during quarantine. I just like broke the rules and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the salon. I don't care. I was cutting my own hair for a while, which was dangerous. I was like heading towards the bowl cut that all of us had in first grade. You know, like, I think we all have that photo. My husband says it looks cute. Some of my friends said I look like Heath Ledger. I think I'm playing it kind of fast and loose with the word friends there, but whatever. I've been watching a lot of television during this time. I've been unemployed. Anybody else watching a lot of TV? Yeah?
Woo!
Anybody watching Cobra Kai?
Woo!
Anybody? No? So, okay, we got one Cobra Kai. I love Cobra Kai. I'm using it as a barometer on social media for people that I need to weed out of my life because they don't understand like the cheesiness that was the 80s. If somebody says that, I'm like, no, you're off of my page. But there are some like fundamental problems with it. And the first is that, did you guys know that Ralph Macchio is 59 years old? Okay, the kids on this show are like 15, 16. They're my children. Ralph Macchio is like my dad. So that's like one thing. The other thing is that Johnny, though he looks great. He's kept it together pretty well. But he walks around saying things like, what's the internet? What's email? How do I plug this in? Like, have you been frozen in a glacier for the last 40 years? I understand that the 80s were a long time ago, but like, you're supposed to be in Reseda. I live in Reseda. We have internet here. He also gives a speech about like, you know, he having his son. He's like, I was too young. I didn't know. And I'm like, listen, the math says you were 38. So not ready then. I don't know what to tell you, babe. I heard a commercial the other day for a wine club, and they were like, you know how they say that Thursday night is the new Friday? Well, now with AA wines, every night can be the new Friday. I was like, why stop there? What are we doing? It's the pandemic. I'm going to be like, pandemic wines. When 11 o'clock on a Monday is the new Friday. Everybody drink. I've been thinking about a lot of weird things during quarantine. Like, does buying an inflatable hot tub make me white trash?
Yeah.
Or is it putting it in the living room that makes me white trash? Thank you guys. This has been so much fun. I'm Amy Pulaski. You can find me on Instagram at Amy P Comedy.
Amy Pulaski.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amy. And thank you to all of our comics. To Greg Bartusiak and to Stephanie Parker and to Bronco Bradwicz, the Polish Cowboy, the Warsaw Warbler. We sincerely thank you for being in our show this evening. I hope we did our ancestral homeland good. Hey Dan, one last check-in before we get to our final act.
Sure. So I thought I'd give a shout out to one more person I see who just liked the stream, and that is Curtis Young. Thank you for watching. Also, there are some comments on saffron being overpriced. Also, Jacob posted another peanut emoji. And I still don't know what the peanut emoji means. I also kind of feel
that as a threat.
You think so?
Yes. I have a peanut oil allergy, so.
Oh, that makes sense. He's trying to poison you over the internet.
Yep. This is the beginning of the end for me. All right. Well, thank you to all of our acts this evening.
Yes.
And again, we do this every Sunday and Wednesday.
True.
And we'll be back this Wednesday, March 10th, for yet another theme show. It's our All Elizabeth show. All of our opening acts have the first or middle name Elizabeth. We're going to have friends Liz Greenwood and Liz Zagoni, plus Liz Barrett and Elizabeth McGurk. So please make sure to check that out. Also, one more opportunity to throw money into the tip jar. Without further ado, your final act of the evening are the co-hosts and co-producers of Semi-Regular Sundays, who until a year ago were hosting this show at Shakers on Clark, on the 3100 block of Clark in Lakeview. They have been performing together for almost 8 years. In fact, our 8th anniversary will coincide with our 100th remote show on Wednesday, April 7th, with our special guests, Susan Messing, Rachel Mason, and Calvin Evans. They have performed in improv festivals in cities as exotic and far-flung as Omaha, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome Flower Shop Bangers.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Flower Shop Bangers. I just thought I would reiterate that we do the show every Wednesday and every Sunday, and that is at 7 p.m. And if you want to watch the next show and you want an easy way to find it, you can either like the Flower Shop Bangers on Facebook or subscribe to us on YouTube. Yeah, also I would say that if you do look above, I did put Stuart and my Venmos up there. It does say donate to whoever is funnier. So now Stuart said he said it wasn't a competition earlier, but now it's like a competition where we just divide the money equally among all the performers who performed tonight. Regardless of where you send that money, we always do appreciate any way that you can support our show. Anyway, we are the Flower Shop Bangers. We're going to do some improv for you, and we get weird with it. That kind of hurt.
Oh my
God. That kind of hurt.
Oh God. Oh, my arm has been killing me for like the last 24 hours. Oh,
24 hours. That's a long time.
Can't put any weight on it.
Yeah.
I mean, go figure. I mean, that's what you get for getting the shot.
You got the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's supposed to be what happens. I mean, they ask you if you prefer your left arm or your right arm.
Oh. They didn't ask me. They just stuck it in my right arm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. They I don't know. They just kind of stuck it in. You know, I just got there. They took out the shot and they stuck it in, and it kind of hurt.
No kidding.
Not gonna lie. Like, you know, I feel like I'm one who never cared about shots that much.
Interesting. I mean, I was sort of expecting this because there's supposed to be like side effects. I mean, someone told me that it's almost like someone stabbed you in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, you're supposed to, there could be everything from like a food-like or allergic reaction to the chills to like headaches, fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all worth it. Let's be honest. It's all worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, totally. But hey, at least we both have our shot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, you need this more than I do. I mean, I lucked out, but hey, I mean, you're a college professor.
That's true. Yeah, no, I teach the students. I mold minds. Yeah, they got to learn their history.
Exactly. I mean, they definitely need to learn their European history.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, don't cut yourself short, though. You have an important job,
I mean, yeah, I'm an air traffic controller.
Yeah. I mean, technically you're like, feet and miles or, like quite a bit of ways, you can do it all from a control room.
Yeah.
But you can't really work from home. You have to see the airplanes.
Yeah. I mean, I have to be up in the tower. I mean, luckily it's a position where I'm already distanced.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone in my office, even before the pandemic, we were all sitting like 6 feet, 6.5 feet apart from each other. I mean, we're all kind of in a circle and we've got these huge desks and, it's like, I'm just trying to pay attention to the pilots, making sure that they land safely.
Yeah. Just kind of a natural distancing.
Yeah.
That was already there. It was kind of just already there. And now you're just like It's fine, you know. Yeah. And I guess, you know, I don't know.
I mean, you're doing way more than I can. I mean, who wants to travel right now? Who in their right mind would want to be on an airplane? And I'm saying this as an air traffic controller. I'm saying this as someone who has been at Midway Airport for 20 years now.
No, I gotcha. I don't know who does. People do.
I mean, in Midway, it's all domestic flights. No one's flying internationally.
No one?
Well, it hardly seems like it. I mean, it's Midway. I mean, if you want to fly to London or Paris, go to O'Hare. Yeah. And even then, it's like, no, I mean, you're way more deserving than I am. I mean, I don't know how I even got this far. I mean, I didn't know before the shot, like where exactly air traffic controllers rank among like where, you know, in the order of like, you know, gets a shot.
I feel like the airlines have enough sway to like get themselves ranked higher.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with myself, you know, casinos had enough sway to stay open during the pandemic.
The audacity, you know, people want to play roulette during this.
Seriously.
You know, play slots.
Quite frankly, I don't understand why we need to put our blackjack dealers at risk.
Yeah.
I don't mean to vent right now, but quite honestly, who the hell needs to play blackjack?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why do the croupiers need the shot? I mean, everyone's going to get a shot eventually, but why now would the croupiers get a shot?
I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot that's been a little, you know, weird during this whole time, and I can kind of get it. And I do see people, like when it first started, the lists of what is considered an essential job and what's not, like kind of the just how different things seemed and how they maybe didn't agree with the rankings of it all. And that's a valid opinion, I think. But also, I think some of the things but I think some of those people were trying to argue that we should just reopen because there's discrepancies here, when in reality, there should have just been more businesses closed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, it's like if every business was closed, I mean, basically the entire country would shut down. Like nothing would be functioning.
Yeah, well, no, but there were things that could have still closed and we could have still been functioning. I think I understand why grocery stores are open. I understand why Home Depot is open.
Yep.
Or any hardware store for that matter. Honestly, I probably need grocery stores and Home Depot to like essentially live my life. I can understand in some ways why, you know, some internet service providers, you know, why they might try to keep their doors open. Maybe their landlines occupied. I don't know, but
landlines. Oh my God. You saw the landline?
Yeah.
You mean like
well,
you have
no. Okay, so
like you get a dial tone? I mean,
no, I was talking about the internet service providers. They should keep their I was using a phrase there. You know, they should keep their phones on. The internet service providers. You know.
Okay, for a second there, I thought you were confessing that you still had DSL.
Nah. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm happy to have this shot. I am. There's a little bit of pain, but you know, from what I've heard, doesn't last that long, and I don't know. We can go get a drink at a bar maybe maybe like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not comfortable being in a bar, but
no, I'm not either yet. No.
I mean, I'm glad that you recommended this restaurant, though. Yeah.
It's a nice spot. Yeah, you're right. You know, I don't know. I think you know we just got our shot. We can probably come in here, get some takeout.
Yeah.
You know,
takeout.
I was thinking takeout. I wasn't thinking we sit down. Were you hoping to sit down?
I mean, I wasn't sure what your intention was. I mean, it's at 50% capacity.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a 50% capacity, and I guess we could just go find a booth. I mean,
yeah. You know, look
I
for
don't know. If you're, sorry, what'd you say?
A table that's not duct taped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of duct tape.
Yeah, you know, they put all these like X's on the on all the booths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like every other one almost kind of makes like a checkers pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, we can go in the corner. I mean, unless you would much rather, just go out in the car and, we could have our tacos there.
You know what? I guess it's been a while. This place seems safe. All right, fine. Let's sit.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've actually sat like in a booth in a restaurant. It'll be a bit of a weird experience, but I guess, we just got this shot. I think, let's enjoy ourselves just a bit.
All right. Buenos dias. Welcome to El Burritos Grande. Can I take your order?
Sure, I'll do the taco dinner.
Yeah, I'll do a taco dinner. Do I have a choice of meat? We have the beef. We have the palo. We have the carnitas. We have the barbacoa. Barbacoa for me.
Okay, I'll do the carnitas.
All right. I accept the Visa, the MasterCard, the American Express, the Discover.
There. Visa.
It's declined.
What?
I'll take this. I'll take this. Here we go.
Why was I'm confused. I might have talked about bank.
Gracias. Oh, well, thank you. No, I've got this. Don't worry about it. I mean, sometimes it happens, like the chip doesn't work or something.
That could be it.
And don't worry about it. I mean, it's we haven't dined out in a while. You don't have to reimburse me or anything.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I didn't realize that. I don't know. You're right. It has been a while. I appreciate I appreciate being treated.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the end is in sight, but we can't rush this.
Yeah, no, we can't.
Yeah, but we
can't rush this.
Put ourselves into like a little thing.
Yeah.
We
It
can
is.
have
Yeah.
we can have a taco dinner here. We just have to make sure we're not anywhere near like the other customers.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is like a slow time too. It doesn't really seem like they're very busy at 2 p.m.
Yeah. No, you're right. So what was I gonna say?
You still have DSL.
I don't still have DSL.
Oh, okay.
I said landline and you thought DSL. I was talking about the internet companies had to keep their landlines open, so they were open to calls. This was an expression that I used. And for some reason, you keep
Okay.
insisting that this meant I was confessing to you that I am a caveman.
Okay, all right. I mean, you want to go back to your place? Maybe you could show me your rotary phone.
Jeez Louise, you're just full of this, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I'm all about that D5,
D5?
or whatever they're calling it, like the fastest internet that's possible, or 5G.
Oh, yeah, 5G, sure, yeah.
5G, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's like, you type something in the Google and you'll get a result before you're done typing it. I mean, that's how fast it is.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's fast, 5G.
Yeah.
I also am pretty sure it's not giving us COVID.
I'm pretty sure it's not giving us COVID either.
But some people believe it gives you COVID. I'm very confused by that.
It's funny. There are all these people that are skeptical about COVID, about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard a word from them since.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many of them are lining up to get the vaccine.
That's the next question. I wonder how many of them are still alive.
That's a good question, honestly.
Yeah.
Some of them probably got very sick, and maybe they thought it was just as bad as the flu, even though
it's definitely worse than the flu.
It's definitely worse than the flu, based on what I've heard.
Oh, without question.
From multiple sources.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was all this misinformation and, all these sources online. And all that.
Yeah.
Hey, but we survived.
Mm-hmm.
We lived to see another day. We did everything that we were supposed to. We were washing our hands. We were, staying 6 feet away from everybody. We were staying home except when we absolutely had to be out.
Yeah.
But again, let's celebrate now. I mean, we have our vaccines. I mean, it's not like anyone's going to just like collapse in this restaurant like it's the plague or something.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I only have a water right here, but cheers.
Salute. And that's our show.
That's our show.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of our performers tonight. Hope we've done full and proud. All of our performers will be back this Wednesday at 7 Central. In the meantime, tying into what we normally say at the end of each show, please wash your hands. Please stay 6 feet away from strangers and acquaintances. Please wear a mask. Black Lives Matter. Believe women. Have a good night.
Good night.